Hi my YouTube family, this is Melody from Home Garden and Fashion. Please welcome to Home Garden and Fashion. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and please do go to my Facebook fan page and give me a like there if you haven't been there already. Today I'd like to share how I made the trim for this saree. So in my last video I show you how to put the trim in the saree, and then that time I mentioned it that I'm going to decorate it, so I decorated it and I would like to share my idea how I created this trim. So as I mentioned to you previously, this came from the Christmas ribbon. So these are the Christmas ribbon you buy it at the store, and then I cut up the sides. The sides had the wires, and after that I stitched it. I share the stitching process in my other video, which I will link with this one. And then after I stitched it, I use this in the side. This is the glitter dimensional fabric paint, and I use it at the side so you cannot see the stitching. And then I also put this confetti, so I'll show you how I created this trim. So these are the confetti. You can get it at any fabric or arts and crafts store. You could put the mirror as well, but I use the confetti because match with the sari. So now I'm going to show you how to do this kind of decoration. You can do any others. You can use a small sequence, you can use mirror, you can put beads, and these are very tight, they will not come out. In case you need to take it out or tear it off, then it will leave a mark. So once you put it, they're permanent. And you can wash it in washer dryer, but I wouldn't do that. I would just hand wash it and hang it, but they're not going to come out. So when you put them, just be sure to put enough of this glitter dimensional fabric pen. I had many of my viewers and subscribers who had a question about what kind of glue I use. I do not use any glue for gluing the sequins or the beads or confetti or mirror. So for every gluing purpose I just use the fabric pen. This is actually initially this was created for decorating t-shirt, but it's my invention. I started using it as glue to glue everything on the sari and dupatta and t-shirt or whatever it is, and I use this to glue beads, sequins, mirror, and it works actually better than glue. So let me just show you how to do this. So as I always tell you that when you're doing decoration, it's good idea to put a fabric at the bottom in case it got stuck with the fabric. But in this case, see, we already have a fabric which is the sari fall, so we don't have to worry about it getting stuck at the bottom. So when you're going to be doing this, you have to pick a spot where you're not going to be disturbing it for at least say 3 hours. So I'm going to start from here and then come over here to show you. So what I did is I covered all the stitches. I have the stitches at the side. So as you come up, you're going to be covering the stitches. Just put a thin coat of trim. This is just to cover all the stitches. After you stitch, you cover. And now I'm going to put 2 big dots, large dots, to put the confetti. So you can give a little bit gap, about an inch gap, or you could give more gap, or you could give no gap at all. It's up to you. But the more of this liquid you put, better your confetti will stay for longer. So first I use a little bit dot and I put my confetti, and then I'm going to give some trim on the side, and that will ensure that the confetti will stay permanently. So you put a little bit pressure. So at a time you can put like 10 dots and then use 10 confetti, but do not put too many dots as this one start drying fast. So you work little bit area and let it dry, and then work little bit areas. Or you could, if you're making a trim or a sari, you can just do like every day little bit portion, and each portion you work on, you have to make sure you let it dry for 3 hours. So I'm just going to give a nice trim. This is just to give it a trim and to ensure that your confetti will stay there forever. Now in case it does fall off, which I doubt it will because it is just totally inside, then you can just put another one. So I'm going to fill in little bit in this side. As you see, I'm leaving just barely 1 inch gap. Now the closer it is, it will look better. So you give a little bit dot a size of 1 inch, and then you put your confetti, and at the same time you will draw this line to cover the stitches on the side. Well, if you choose to keep the stitches like that, that's okay too. I just decided to give it a nice golden border at the side, and it kind of makes it look more pretty. So this way you can create your own trim, and it's definitely it's a little bit hard work and tedious job, but at the end it will really look pretty. So in case you have a little mistake or anything, don't worry too much because it will just dry out. Unless it's a huge mistake, then I wouldn't worry. Usually if you mess up little bit, just don't worry at all because it will dry out. And once it dries, it all looks gold color. So this one you can put little beads in the middle too, so you could get really creative. I'm just going to leave it at the confetti. I'm not gonna put any beads, but I am thinking about doing some design all over the entire sari. I think I'm going to make some black flowers and then put some trim, gold trim. If I do make it, I'll share the idea. Now once we stitch it, when we give a trim, then it's really hard to tell if you stitch the product or it just came with it. So giving a trim is kind of hiding your stitches, blending in your stitches. So I'm just going to do all this side, and you can do about one side each day. and then it will take about 3 hours to dry. And in my next video I'm going to be sharing the idea of how I will make some black flower in it. I'm going to work on it and see how it goes, and then I'll share my idea. So like this you will be doing to the entire sari trim or the border, and then if you wish you can do it the side as well, but I don't have that much trim. I think this was only 5 yards, so I just put it all at the bottom. So I might get creative and put something on the side. So I'm going to be filling in all this side. As you see, we put about 1-inch dot here. So we'll continue this throughout the entire trim. And you need to have an empty paint container as a tool just to press it down. And once you press it down, there's very little chances that it will come out, because that's kind of sets it. So I'm just going to be finishing this entire row. So after you set all this sequence, then the next step is to make sure you seal the edges. If you have a tiny little sequence or a small beads, then you don't need to seal the edges, because when you press it down, it will automatically create a trim or edge. But since these are large confetti, so that's why you need to seal the edges. And these kind of white confetti you can use as a mirror, and they kind of look like a mirror. Only best thing is they're not too heavy, so they're very light. So when you're putting it in a sari, it's really nice. When you have trim and you want to put mirror, if you put real mirror, they will be extremely heavy for your sari. So make sure the edges, the trim goes on top of the confetti, not at the side, just exactly on top. So I will leave this over here now, and I will let you finish the rest of it, as I'm going to finish the rest later. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share the video. I will see you with my next video.